And I want you guys to tell me down below in the comments, where do you live? What city are you in? Where do you watch my videos from? And what are some of the native edible trees and plants in your city? Hey guys, it's Jake Mace, the vegan athlete here in my backyard garden. Today I want to show you guys how to plant a raised bed garden or an in-ground garden from seed. So for those of you interested in how to build the soil up, how to make the soil right, how to replenish the soil if your bed's already got soil in it, how to plant the seeds, how deep to go, what seeds to plant right now in the summertime, this is the video for you. I want you guys to check out my other videos on how to build a raised bed and how to build the soil from scratch. And all the links to those videos are in the description down below and the comments down below, as well as the upper right hand corner of the screen right now. I've got the current seed bank box from seedbankbox.com. If you guys want to get seeds from me, just order them from seedbankbox.com. It's a monthly mystery box of seeds that comes right to your door. And it's over 110 degrees in the Phoenix area today. So the crops that we planted for the springtime have now lived their life. We've harvested the fruits and they have died. So I haven't watered this in a few days. We're gonna take these plants out. Let me show you guys how I replenish and refresh a raised bed garden so that the next garden grows even better than the previous one. So first off, when planting a garden from seed, when you already have dead plants and a garden kind of put together, I don't want to just rip out all the plants, and I don't want to just till and mix up all the soil. I want to kind of preserve the integrity of the earth that's down below. And when I take out these plants, I just clip them really close to the soil line. I just clip the plant out. I'll give it a little bit of a shake because then the seeds that were on these lettuce plants will fall into the soil and grow in the fall. I'll take the plant, use it as mulch for a fruit tree, and I'll keep going. The reason why I leave the roots in the soil is so that they'll biodegrade into the soil, and all the nutrients that those roots had will become life for the future plants that I plant in my beds. So you can call it chop and drop, but this is kind of how I build my soil naturally over time, and I use the dead plants as mulch for my fruit trees. Let me get this done, and I'll come back to you guys in 5 minutes and show you the next step. Now you can see how the soil level has cooked down about 6 inches below the top of my raised bed. So people ask me all the time, Jake, hey vegan guy, what do I put back in the raised bed to fill it up? Well, I call it Mace's Mix. It's at jakemace.com. Let me show you guys what I put inside here. Okay, first stage is find locally made compost. Compost is different than dirt. Compost is usually black. It's a living soil. Find it locally. Craigslist is a good website to find locally made compost. I found this stuff. It's being made in Phoenix. Their offices are in Tempe. They sell it either at their plant down at 28th Avenue in Lower Buckeye, or you can buy the bag form at Lowe's here in my area. So even though Lowe's is not local, I'm buying the one local soil at the Lowe's near me, or I go pull my truck up down to the plant itself and have them put a tractor full of soil compost in the back of my truck. This stuff is 2.5 cubic feet. It's only $6.88, and it's not dried out dust like most of the soils in the big box stores are. This one is alive, made recently. It's black, and it's broken down pretty nice and not that wood chippy. It actually looks pretty good. That being said, I still will add things to this. So let's put one bag of this soil in the raised bed, and then stick with me and I'll show you the next step. It's a very important step. All right, welcome back. As you guys can see, there's nothing that looks better than a freshly spread raised bed garden of fresh black compost. So now I've got this nice fresh layer of living soil here in my bed, and we're gonna infuse it with some worm castings. Let me show you. Okay, the worm casting's very important because it's so full of nutrition. So this is gonna be like a wheatgrass shot for your plants. I don't use a lot of manures, but worm castings is kind of the closest thing that I get to manures. It's technically worm poop, worm castings, but I feel that if you buy the organic kind, or if you grow the worms yourself and do a vermiculture tower or something like that and put it in your garden, it's a really good way to naturally build your soil's life, and then you'll have healthier plants that will be more nutritious when you eat them. But if you guys use the compost and the worm castings, you'll also have plants that will be more impervious to disease and bugs. So now the soil's looking good, looking really good. But there's one more super important ingredient that you guys have to do. I'm gonna put it on top. The next super important step is this block right here. I don't use peat moss in my garden. My mom always taught me to use peat moss, but I found that peat moss is not renewable. So I use coconut pith or coconut core because it's renewable. It comes in a block like this. Get it from your local nursery. If they don't have it, tell them that Jake Mace, the vegan athlete, said you must carry coconut core. I put the block inside a wheelbarrow. It's just like that, if you guys can see in there. And I take my hose and just start spraying it down and letting it soak in the water. And I take this opportunity to wash my hands as well, so that I don't have to look like a full-on hippie, just part hippie. Today I'm wearing some more exercise clothes because I was just doing some videos for my other YouTube channel on fitness and the martial arts, the Chinese martial arts, including Tai Chi and Kung Fu. So my two worlds are colliding here in this video, but I thought you guys would want to see how I plant from seeds. That's what this video is all about. Once this guy absorbs enough water, he will be a medium, like a spongy medium. I'm gonna throw in the raised bed and plant the seeds directly in it. Let me show you guys what I mean on the next part of the video. Okay, while the coconut core is soaking up all that water and turning into our growing medium, let's open the seed bank box and see what's inside. As always, we dig through the compost paper to get to the good stuff down below. There's so many hundreds of you that have already signed up and are playing a part in seedbankbox.com. I want to thank you guys because I love putting together the seed varieties for you guys. I love doing the mission statement. And if you guys want in the comments down below, thank Pam. Pam's the one who's actually the CEO of the company. I'm just the guy who plants the seeds, puts in a little bit of input on the seeds, and then gives you guys a video. But in reality, Pam does this entire company and does a great job of making this experience wonderful for you guys. So say thanks to Pam for Seed Bank Box in the comments below. The message from Jake this month says, I want you all to focus on two things this month. Number one, celebrate when you have volunteer plants in your garden. This month, nature itself has planted chamomile and dill, tomatoes and sweet potatoes, spinach, tomatillos, mizuna, and carrots in my garden. Nature's done it, not me. They've been volunteers that have happened on their own. This is because I let my plants from previous seasons go to seed, and the seeds found a way to germinate and grow on their own. This makes gardening easy and a lot of fun for me because easy equals free food. Number two, plant edible native trees, plants in your landscape. So wherever you live in the country or in the world, go find out what are the edible bushes, plants, cactus, vines, trees in your area and plant the native ones. For me in Phoenix, this means fruiting cactus like prickly pear, the Palo Verde tree, the ironwood tree, and the saguaro. What are the edible native trees, plants in your area? And I want you guys to tell me down below in the comments, where do you live? What city are you in? Where do you watch my videos from? And what are some of the native edible trees and plants in your city? The seeds in the seed bank box for this month are banana melons. They're an enormous melon, and you guys got to get seed bank box to read the rest. The next one is the Desert King melon, because summertime is melon time. Look at that watermelon, looks incredible. There's always an information paragraph and planting instructions on each seed, on each card, and these cards are extremely fun and well put together. The next one is the Court Jester Marigold, because I think and I know that having edible flowers in your garden is crucially important to having garden success. You've got to put the edible flowers all around because those will attract the good bugs and keep out the bad bugs. The next one is the West Indian gherkin or cucumber or pickle. The West Indian gherkin. It's my favorite pickle because it's so unique looking. It's a small little oval gherkin or cucumber that has thorns all over it, but the thorns are edible, and it's a delicious, refreshing, incredibly vigorous growing vine that puts off tons of fruits. The next seed is the Burgundy Okra. Look at how the colors of the envelopes and the colors of the cards match the plant. So Burgundy Okra gets a burgundy card. That's so cool. The Burgundy Okra and any kind of okra is quintessential summertime crop because it loves the heat. Get used to how to prepare, how to cook, and how to eat okra, because once you guys know how to do it, it's delicious, and it grows so prolifically in a front and a backyard garden. The next one is the golden giant amaranth. For the gardener at home, amaranth looks breathtaking, and not only are the leaves edible, but the grain is edible as well. This is a very good self-seeder. It will come back season after season, where for me, I encourage that. I love that because I want to see amaranth coming back every year for free in my garden. There's so many seeds in June's seed bank box. This one's the large bottle gourd. So we've got gourds this month that are really fun, especially if you got kids. Kids love to grow and harvest the gourds. And the last one is one of my favorite melons called the Tigger Melon. It has orange stripes on it, just like Tigger in Winnie the Pooh. And this one is one of my favorites. It's a smaller melon. It's got a really intense melon kind of cantaloupe flavor, and it's got a breathtaking color. So I don't know about you guys, but I think that's the best seed bank box month of seeds yet. You guys can go to my seed bank box playlist, the link's down below, and you can watch all the seed bank box monthly videos that started back this year in the very beginning of the spring. And now we've got almost 6 months of seed bank box videos you guys can watch and enjoy and see how my garden is growing with the seeds that are from seed bank box. Okay, I had to get less clothes on that weren't black because it's 110 degrees today, it's so hot, but there's still things you can plant when it's this hot, especially those of you who live in more mild climates during the summer. You guys can plant tons of good stuff in the summertime. Look at how black my raised bed looks now. This soil looks healthy and nutritious. Locally made compost and worm castings. Now our wheelbarrow here is full of the coconut pith or the coconut core. This guy looks kind of brown. So now I can throw the brown coconut core out there. And this doesn't have any nutrients in it. It's just pretty much for water retention. It's gonna keep water in the soil. So plants like the coconut core because it gives them consistent moisture levels, and it's very spongy. So it's really good to put on top of your raised beds, like put a 1-inch layer of coconut core on top, and then plant your seeds directly in that 1-inch layer of coconut pith. And then when the seed grows into a plant, the roots will go into the worm castings and the compost below and get that nutrition. Does that make sense? I tried to explain that really easily so new gardeners can understand. The seed likes to grow in the sponge, but the plant, when it gets bigger, likes to have nutrition from the worm castings and the compost below. So I'm just gonna spread this out and make it look uniform and nice, and I'll meet you guys back here in about 2 minutes. Okay, I love laying out the infrastructure of my new seeds in my new garden. So let's put the Jester Marigold edible flowers around the perimeter of the raised bed. Let's put the Burgundy Okra kind of in the middle in there. Let's put the West Indian bird gherkin on this part of the trellis. Let's put the large bottle gourd in the middle part of the trellis. And let's put the golden giant amaranth on this part in the middle. Let's put the Tigger melon at the very end. I'm only going to be planting a couple seeds of each variety, then save the other seeds in the seed bank box for the next month. And we designed the seed bank box so that when you guys put the seeds back in here, every month seed bank box can stack very orderly on top of themselves. And right here, this space is always open because you're encouraged to take a marker or a pen and write notes or write the current month it is. So I write June 2017 right there, and then it goes as the 6th box in my tower. Okay, here's what edible flowers look like. These are the Jester Marigold flowers. They look so bizarre. I love it. I'm gonna use all of these guys because I've got so many edible flowers here. So let's just kind of lightly throw these guys on top of the coconut core. Really no order. I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle, like I would put pepper on some lunch or salt on some dinner. Maybe just about a foot apart for each little cluster of seeds. And then I'm gonna bury these guys very little. I always say to people that it's pretty much possible to kill a seed by planting it too deep, but it's very difficult to kill a seed by planting it too shallow. So when the seed is too deep, you can drown it, you can kind of suffocate it. When it's too shallow, nature will find a way. So I just put them down like this, like you guys can see these 2 marigold seeds right here. I kind of just press a little bit and then do a little sprinkle on top, and that's all it takes, a little bit. And then when I put the water on there, it will kind of settle it in like tucking in for bed with a nice duvet, right? And then I'll come back to you guys in a couple of weeks with an update, if you guys subscribe to me here at Vegan Athlete, with how these seeds are growing. Okay, I've got the Burgundy Okra here. I love the burgundy color on the okra. The dark purplish kind of color is so nice. And okra always looks like little tiny balls, little tiny spheres. And these guys grow so well. I'm gonna just put 2 seeds in each part and just put them right in the middle here. Nothing too crazy. Maybe 6 inches apart, because okra is not too bushy. It's kind of tall and spindly. So we're gonna just put them about 6 inches apart. And the same kind of idea. We got them on top of the soil here. You guys can see these 2 on top of the soil. We're gonna just push them in a little bit. Just a little push. And then a little cover, and nature will find a way, guys. Nature's roots will find a way to ground themselves in your compost, worm castings, and coconut pith. We got the West Indian bird gherkins. You guys, I've been growing these for years. These guys come from my garden, so they're locally grown, and they're amazing. The cucumber is so unique looking, it blows everybody's minds. We're gonna just sprinkle these pretty liberally because I got so many of these seeds in this pack. Maybe see how these guys are about maybe 1 foot or maybe 6, 8 inches apart each. I'm gonna just put a little cluster right at the base of each square of this trellis. I buy these trellises in the lumber section or concrete section of the local hardware store. And they're usually for when you lay concrete on the ground, it kind of helps to keep the concrete strong, but I use them as garden trellises, and they're only like $7. And sometimes I get them when they're on clearance for like 50 cents or 30 cents a piece, and then I'll buy a whole bunch. So same thing, just kind of lightly tap them in. Don't go too deep. Nature's roots will find a way into the soil. And once they're kind of settled in there, just kind of kick some coconut fiber on them. And then we'll water them in a second. I got the golden amaranth here, and these guys are incredible seeds. They're so small, and a lot of farmers out there think that amaranth is a weed, but I think of it as a very nutritious grain. Look at how small those, like little tiny balls of couscous. Crazy small. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. So these guys are really easy to germinate. We're gonna just go sprinkle, sprinkle all over the soil, and then I'll thin out the ones that are less worthy later. I'm gonna literally just cover this entire raised bed full of amaranth and see what happens. A lot of you experienced gardeners out there might think I'm crazy, but if I got an overabundance of amaranth in this one little raised bed, that's a good problem to have. All right, guys, the Tigger Melon looks kind of like a cantaloupe seed. They're a little tiny yellow or whitish yellow slender guys. See that? And I'm gonna have this part of the trellis over here be the Tigger Melon, so just about 2 near each square of the trellis. Maybe I'll put 3 in each square. I have enough to 3. So I'm gonna put 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, 3 there, and then I'm guaranteed at least 1 will germinate nicely. And these guys are gonna respond really well to the heat, and they're, I would say, maybe about an 80 to 100 day melon. So if it's beginning of June right now, figure 3.5 months from now, July, August, September, by the middle of October, I should have pretty ripe Tigger melons in this part of the seed bank box garden. Lastly here, I've got the large bottle gourd. I've never grown this one before, so this is an experiment for you and me to grow together. I have no idea what they look like. What will the seeds look like? Whoa, they look crazy. I don't know what they look like. They look nuts. Wow, those are cool looking. Okay, we're putting the bottle gourds in here. I'm gonna just put 1 bottle gourd seed per square here. Maybe like every square and a half. Because they look like they're going to be pretty vigorous plants. And let's see what happens. These guys look so cool. I'm excited to see how fast these guys grow and what they actually grow into. So I'm going to put these guys about 3/4 of an inch under the soil because they're a little larger seed. Pretty much whatever the diameter of the seed is, you want to put it that deep under the soil. So if it's very, very little itty bitty, you just barely brush it in. If it's larger like those gourd seeds, you push it in about 1 inch. All right, guys, that's it. And the last stage of planting a garden from seed is to water it. Not only will that settle all the dirt around the seed, but the water is the catalyst that'll activate the lifeblood of the seed. So I'm gonna water this liberally here on the first day, make sure that water soaks about 6 to 10 to 12 inches down. And then I'm gonna water this guy about 2 or 3 times a day until the plants get bigger, because when you have an infant human child, like a 4-year-old, if you were to kick that 4-year-old into Manhattan, they'd probably die unless somebody or some adult or some parent protected that kid. And when you're planting a garden, you got to think about your newly planted plants from seed like a little toddler. If you guys don't take care of them, they'll die. So a little toddler needs to eat more frequently but less food. And your newly planted seeds have to be watered more frequently but less deep. And as the plant grows bigger and stronger, it'll need less frequent water but deeper water. So right now, I'm gonna do about 2 or 3 times a day since it's so hot in summer in Phoenix, but not very much, just a little bit to soak the top 6 inches of soil. And once the plants get bigger, I'll water it deeper so it soaks like 1.5 feet down, but only like once a day, because that coconut coir keeps the moisture in there. You guys go vegan, grow your food at home. I want to thank all my fruit tree people and gardeners out there, my treeple, for watching this episode, June's Seed Bank Box video. Go to the links down below in the upper left-hand corner to watch the past Seed Bank Box planting videos. I'll see you guys back here in July for the July Seed Bank Box. You guys can sign up right now for July's Seed Bank Box at seedbankbox.com.